Today, India is celebrating its 75th Independence Day. So, on this eve, we have got the Einstein of the 21st century, Professor Suborno Isaac Barry. He is also known as the god of mathematics. And joining him is a representative from the global think tank, Professor Zulfi Ali. I welcome you to this forum today. Now, let's move on to the next question. I want to ask something about logic. What do you think, Professor Suborno? Is logic the answer to everything, or there is something beyond logic that we cannot imagine that operates in this cosmos?
Well, logic is a very interesting thing because basic logic is what math needs to function. Basic logic is hidden in dimensional analysis, which is the basic thing in all of physics that even Einstein used to formulate E equals mc squared. So the thing is, logic is an extremely important thing when you're talking physics. So I think I'm not really sure if there's something that lurks beneath logic somewhere hiding in the cosmos. But then again, we have barely explored anything in the observable universe. But physics, by far, all the new discoveries have used logic by far. I mean, basic logic is what you need. And I don't think that any part of the universe will follow any anomaly that breaks this kind of logic. Though we still barely explored like any of the observable universe, forget the actual universe that we can't reach. So that's the thing. I think that logic is important, and I'm not really sure. Maybe there's something that lurks beyond logic, and maybe there's an anomaly out there, but I'm not sure. By the way, I do give Hilbert partial credit on the field equation because, I mean, Einstein took some of his theories from Hilbert. Einstein used Hilbert as one of his few citation sources. So I give partial credit to Hilbert for the field equation. And so that's my thoughts. Maybe there's something that looks beyond logic.
Okay. So, Professor Zulfi, if you want to add something, is there anything except logic in this cosmos that is helping Professor Suborno also to become miraculous, giving him that power also?
Yeah, of course. I believe that, that is where metaphysics comes into the picture, because sometimes the science itself has not been able to explain some of the phenomena in the world, actually. So we need certain kind of a different way of looking at things. You see, as a human being, there are two kind of characteristics that stands very distinguishing factors, I may say, which distinguishes mankind from all other species in the world. And they are that the ability to respond to logic. And the second is that the ability to respond to something known as the conscience. The conscience is also very important. You see, when you look at logic, entirely everything in terms of logic, the whole fundamental principle on which whole of science sits on is logic, actually. But mere logic will make you a machine. If you're just logical, the best logical entity in the world is a machine, which is purely logical without any emotions. The beauty of a human being is in his irrationality. The beauty of the human being is in his randomness. It is the unprecedented, uncertain behavior of a human being that makes him a human being. You see, sometimes we need to question this point that what is to be a human? Is it just mere logic that makes us humans? No, it is not. Because logic is just a subset of a much bigger framework on which the human intelligence sits. So that is what I feel, that logic and your other faculties must come in together in tandem to be able to create the greater understanding of the whole universe. Because you see, like, for example, why is the universe so big with 90 billion light years or more? And what is the actually theory of matter? We do not know what is the construct of this whole universe. So there are a lot of missing links. And if there are also simple questions like, for example, the formation of clouds, it looks so simple, but it's so difficult to answer them and bring mathematics to be able to explain those certain kind of phenomena. There are a lot of phenomena that is happening all around us. So it is not that a non-logical component actually acts against the logical component. They are supposed to complement each other to be able to give us a deeper understanding of the universe as a whole. And I think that in view of Suborno, when you're talking about Suborno, I think he definitely has been blessed with something which is much more than this logical, which goes beyond the logical framework.
Yeah. Yes. What do you think, Suborno? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Maybe there's something that goes beyond logic because, as he said, it's so difficult to explain even simple things with math, like the clouds out there. Now, of course, the window is heated and they're not really visible clouds outside anyway. It's dark where I am. But the thing is, even the simple things are extremely difficult to explain with math. So who knows? Maybe logic isn't quite the answer. And as Dr. Kulfi said, the thing is, sorry if I said your name wrong. Doctor said, what makes us human isn't just logic. It's not logic, it's randomness. It's irrationality. With just mere logic, all we are is a logical machine, as he said. Logic is not what makes a human. Randomness. So that's my thoughts on the Dr. Zulfi's.
Yeah, well said. One more thing I would like. Okay.
Sorry. I just wanted to add to what he said is that, see, when right now we are in the process of creating robots and humanoids, which are almost emulating the human mind. But I still believe that there's a long way to go because it'll be very difficult to recreate the consciousness of the randomness of the human mind. And that will be it'll be difficult. It'll be the biggest challenge for people who are working on artificial intelligence and deep learning to be able to recreate the human mind. And I really appreciate those people who have been able to create the brain interface, like even the thing like Neuralink, who've been able to come up with a product. I'm amazed at those kind of people who have been able to not only talk about these abstract concepts of the brain and interfaces, but be able to come up with a product itself is a great revolutionary kind of a transformation for mankind. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Yeah. Now, Suborno, suddenly if you wake up one day and you see you have lost all your miracles and you're like a normal child, what will you do?
Well, that's an extremely personal question. Well, the thing is, if I lost if I lost all my skills, well, at least I have a suit, and so I'll just, if I have F equals MA, then I can rebuild everything from there. I mean, even a third grade child can understand what F equal MA is. And after binge watching 17 physics videos, right? So even if I lost all my talent, then I don't know, just rebuild everything from F equal MA. It's like the universe. You remove everything. And you can rebuild everything from F equal MA. Everything stems from F equal MA, except for, of course, the gravity law. So if you were to rebuild everything from F equal MA, it's really floating in space.
Yeah. What about this, Dr. Zulfi, if you want to add something?
No, I think that what he's saying is, I think, you can always reinvent yourself. You can always reconstruct. See, that is the beauty of a human being, that if there is something that is going wrong, you can recorrect, reinvent, refresh, rethink, realign, recreate. See, that is the greatest characteristic of a human being. He has the ability to recall himself. See, at every moment, we human beings, we are recreating ourselves. Sometimes 5 years back, what the thoughts that we have had in our minds, maybe we have reinvented ourselves. So every moment is a reconstruction. So we are reconstructing ourselves. And when you look at sociologically also, we're also reconstructing ourselves all the time. And that becomes our reality, social reality, what they call actually sociologically also. So I think that Suborno has the rare distinction of reconstructing himself and recorrecting himself, recreating himself. And I think that, I would like to state a very significant point as far as Suborno is concerned, that he's got that advantage right now of understanding science and physics at such a young, early stage. And he has the whole life to think about all these things and to create something for and to be able to invent and contribute to mankind. And I think I look forward to that, actually.
Yeah.
I look
And one more thing is there, Suborno, you wanted to contest the presidential elections. So why do you want to do that?
Because the thing is, I want to influence the world, because math and science are not going to get anywhere without any influence. I want to influence the world to fall in love with math and science and peace, because the thing is, math and science is what everybody needs. Math and science is how we will advance. Peace is how we will advance without killing each other or skirmishing. Dr. Zulfi mentioned that before, and I believe in math and science and peace because of my second birthday. I was asked to go into my garage and read a book for 1 hour. But the thing was, I had to find the title and the author of the book. CMG's done it. But the thing was, I couldn't just look at the cover and be done with it. The thing was, my father was a smart man, and he still is, honestly. So what he did was he just took a bit of black paint and he just put it over every single instance of the author's name or the book title. And so I had no clue what it was. Instead, the only thing I could do was, find any clue from the book. So I found this picture of a cannon on a mountaintop. Maybe you're familiar if you've ever read Principia. So there was this cannon on a mountaintop, and then suddenly, with not that much force, it shoots from point V on the top of the mountain to D, which isn't quite that much. It's just at the end of the mountain. Then it shoots from the V to B, which is around 1/4 of the planet, but it still falls. And then it goes around 1/2 of the planet, which is point B, from V to B, but it still fails to go around the entire planet. And then suddenly, it flows with so much velocity that the velocity is just right to escape. But the thing is, gravity pulls on just enough that it cannot escape into, forever. And velocity keeps it orbiting so that it doesn't crash into the Earth. So the cannonball is just like the moon at that point, because it's escaped into orbit and it now has the exact velocity to escape. But the thing is, the gravity is pulling on it at just the right amount to keep it at bay. So that's the same thing that was happening with the moon. And so Isaac Newton asked himself this question as well. And so I knew, because I've heard of the Sir Isaac Newton, if the apple falls, does the moon fall thing. So Sir Isaac Newton asked that question, and then I remembered that, and I thought, hey, maybe the author is Sir Isaac Newton because of this innovative idea and how old the darn book looks. So I put Sir Isaac Newton. And now the tricky thing was the name of the book. So since there was one picture in the book that just had a cannonball in it, there were more pictures in the book. But I thought that since I didn't have much time and I couldn't read any further, maybe since this one picture was here and it had a cannonball in it, I think the name of the book would probably be Cannonball. So Cannonball by Isaac Newton. You think that would be a good book?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the thing. That day, regardless of the failure, it was actually named Principia Mathematica. I still fell in love with the math and physics because that's what helped me in that puzzle, and I knew that would probably help me later on, and it will also help the world. Now I realize, and so will peace. So that's what I wanted to set. That's what I want to say. Math and science and peace must be spread around the world. And I want to run in the elections so I have a chance at least to influence the world. To tell the world that this is good. Math and science and love for each other, peace for each other, instead of fighting and skirmishing between religions, man-made borders, and territory is good. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I want to express.
Yeah, well said, well said. See, one more thing is there, Suborno. See, in the US, you say that you fall in love, no? But in India, no, they say you rise in love. You go up, you know? So from now, you'll rise in love. Whatever you do, you should rise up, right? So one thing more I would like to ask to you is that you came to India, you interacted with Indian students. Can you tell me one difference between the students of India and the students of the US?
Well, the thing is, I haven't exactly interacted that much with the students of the US. In fact, I've been hitting in between them because of the DOE's laziness. But the thing is, I have noticed one thing, although this may just be a discrepancy between adults and kids, but it seems like the students of India are a bit more concentrated, and since this may just be an effect of me keeping a bit of a low profile in school, but they also respect me a bit more. So that's a tiny discrepancy I've seen in India and USA students.
Yeah. No, in India, no, like the teacher, no, it's really considered very high in India. Teachers really respected. If you are a teacher in India, you'll get a lot of respect. You have seen the respect that you get from Indians, and you compare with the rest of the world. Indians give you the maximum respect. Do you know that? So many followers you have got of yours in India. There are millions of people following you in India. Do you know that, Suborno?
Yes, I know that a lot. Seen
Yeah.
so many in India.
Yeah. So let me move on to this last question that we'll be asking today. I'll throw it.
I just wanted to I just wanted to add that if Suborno becomes the president of the US, that he should I would like to be his advisor.
This is like 30 years from now. So
okay.
So Suborno, this will be your last question. Whatever talent you have got, Suborno, you should value it. You should be grateful to that, right? So what are you going to do in the next few years that you value this talent and don't allow it to go? What are you looking forward to do to hold this talent? Because see, if you just take it for granted, it might go away from you suddenly. You never know that. So what are you going to do to hold this?
Of course, in the short term, I would like to become a professor. I would like to invent more things, and I would like to progress it just one tiny step or two into the theory of everything. And in the long term, I want to do the theory of everything. I want to at least invent one or two new geometrical or number theories along the way. I want to discover something new in physics, something that will revolutionize the world. Probably something that won't do much for the regular person and won't really improve my zoom camera quality. I mean, just look at this atrocious shadow right here. Look at it. But it will improve humanity as a whole. So I believe that I want to do the theory of everything. I believe do the theory of everything. I want to become a professor. I want to spread peace and things like that. Those are my short and long-term goals.
Yeah. So it is. Yeah.
I would like to play the Jana Gana Mana on this grand piano here.
Oh, okay. So play it. Play.
I just noticed it. That's all I've got for now.
Well done, Suborno. We'd like to clap for you for that. Well done, Suborno.
Thank you.
Well done. We'd like to give you one amazing Indian salute to you, You have made us proud. You have made this Independence Day very special. Thanks, Dr. Zulfi, for joining us today. And Professor Suborno. Thanks. We'll join back again.
Thank you, Suborno. And it was a great pleasure to have an interaction with you.
Thank you as well.
Thank you.
75th birthday to India. And I really want to appreciate what Dr. Zulfi has to say, because Dr. Zulfi's thoughts on education, on my book, on spreading peace, they are really impeccable. And I also have my own thoughts that I didn't exactly get time to say, but it's okay. And anyway, I really think that this session allowed me to allow both of us to express what we thought about the future of math, the future of peace, and the future of the world, and the world not only of peace but of math and science as well. I believe that this meeting allowed both of us to express that, and I am really grateful for that opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Well
Dr.
said, well
Suborno.
said.
Thank you so much, Professor Suborno. Thank you so much.
I need to really control myself after all these thoughts, and I also want to just think to myself about like all these wonderful things Professor Zulfi has said and what he had discussed with me about. Thank you.